Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all back once more to Gothic. Not just once more, but we've got a few episodes left of this, and to be honest, it's all coming to a conclusion a little bit sooner than I had anticipated. I was banking on this taking maybe close to 40 episodes, but it's not doing that at all. And in fact, this is probably going to end up being one of these shorter things I've done. Obviously, I've done a few sort of short adventure games and such that have been, you know, sometimes less than 10 episodes. But as far as like actual RPGs go, this is one of the shorter ones I've done. It's going to be done in just over 30 episodes, I think. The original series I did with Dark Mysteries took 51. So that wow, I'm surprised none of the other ones took damage. So that overall was actually a pretty padded out adventure with the mod. Now some of these guys just aren't taking hits from this. I'm not really sure what it is. Seems like they don't... Oh, goodness! Oh, gracious! Come on, sword. Back, you devils! Oh, that was not totally according to plan. But no matter. Fuck off. Oh goodness, another one. Seriously, you can't just do that. You can't run to infinity. Fuck you. Oh, these things. I've kind of lost my train of thought now. Yes. So yeah, this is going to end up being one of the shorter things I've done. The shortest RPG I've done. And I don't really have a contingency plan ready for when this is over. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do afterwards. But I suppose we'll figure that out in time. Why aren't you casting, motherfucker? God's fucking sake, get out of my face. What is this? Are you fucking joking? Oh my fucking god. I'm sorry, that was bullshit. What the hell are they all doing now? I'm sorry, you don't get to cheat like that. That was a really annoying glitch. Like, I was trying to get into the water to get away from them, but then somehow I got stuck, like, airborne in the water, as they were, like, biting my balls to pieces. So, I didn't feel like reloading after that. That was bullshit. I do not give in to that shit. Maybe something that does more damage to these guys. Wow! He suddenly caught on fire. This won't really help. No, someone might have the Storm of Fire spell by now. I think I was told that. Fuck off. No, you don't get to dodge that. Come on! I hit you first. Fuck off. I'm not sure what's going on here. Well, that was terribly amusing. Alright. Fire lizards are pretty terrible in melee combat, so we'll avoid them. Let's check out this tower. I haven't actually really looked at it. I might, when this is over, I might kind of have another vote on what I should do next. But if you guys have anything in mind at the moment, of course, some of you will probably want to see me play The Witcher 3, but that's not going to be an option. As I've said many times, my current setup... Yeah, there's nothing on here. I remembered that. I don't know why I thought it was different this time. My current setup, which is just a laptop, is not remotely capable of playing something like The Witcher 3, as much as I would love to. No, I forgot to set my timer after all this. As much as I would love to play it, it's simply not an option for me. In fact, I do essentially have the money to build a PC, but I'm afraid to actually spend that, because depending on what I look for work, that might really end up needing to go towards a new car or something. So I don't currently own a vehicle of any description. So, throwing that kind of money down on something rather extravagant like a computer, instead of really planning for something feasible for my job, whatever that might end up being, just doesn't seem like the wisest thing to do. Come on, you should be burning too. Fuck you. So, yeah, that's not going to be an option at the moment. And thus, I have to find something that I already own or could purchase and then play on my current computer. Of course, a lot of people do kind of want to see Gothic 2 again, but instead of doing a whole new walkthrough of Gothic 2 the way it is, I wanted to wait until some of the really good mods came out and kind of do like playthroughs of those. The ones I'm specifically looking at, of course, are the Enhanced Edition and the Golden Gate mod, which they're working on the English subtitle translations for that. Golden Gate is a Polish mod, of course it is, made as kind of an extension, non-canon, of course. I think it does feature the Nameless Hero again, but it's like a return to Jarkandar, essentially. And it looks very interesting. It's supposed to be about 20 hours of gameplay. That's probably if you choose to do literally everything and really take your time with it. But it's a decently long experience if you're interested in it. And they have been going through the English translation. And a couple months ago, I think they said it was almost finished. So they're just doing a lot of playtesting right now. So I have every intention of playing that when it comes out. And so with those two in mind, I don't really want to do any kind of vanilla Gothic 2 or Gothic 2 Night of the Raven kind of stuff. Just because I had already done it once, and although I'm not totally satisfied with that walkthrough now that I've learned a bit more about how to do this kind of thing, it is still valid in my opinion. And there's nothing outrageously wrong with it. Not like I had wrong with my Dark Mysteries playthrough. So that is going to stand. And I will worry about any future Gothic 2 stuff when those mods emerge. Anyway, here is ur-shak.
ur-shak, greed friend. Friend have Ulu Mulu. Be good. Friend, no forget carry Ulu Mulu in hand when go over bridge.
How you doing, my friend?
ur-shak be healthy. ur-shak now looking find own Ulu Mulu. Maybe ur-shak go home with own Ulu Mulu. Friend come when need help.
Take care.
Now, it's interesting that he talks about having his own Ulu Mulu and coming home with it, but we've seen that even an expatriated orc like the one in the mine can fashion one, and the orcs will respect it. Of course, it's not really an option for ur-shak to go into the mine to get an Ulu Mulu from his friend, and it is distinctly possible that he just doesn't know how to make one. But even if he did, let's say he had learned how to make an Ulu Mulu at some point, and he just went out and fashioned it and walked back into town. He's supposed to be exiled, so if he just happened to have one and walked back into town, how do the orcs interpret that? If they're supposed to respect the Ulu Mulu and its symbolism, then what happens if you don't respect the person who carries it and he suddenly appears with one? Like, I just don't really understand how the orc culture interprets that and what the appropriate response to it is. Anyway, you have a bit more dialogue.
What are you doing so close to the town?
ur-shak watch brothers in home. ur-shak believe Krushak awake soon. ur-shak wait here. Fight Krushak when wake up.
The sleeper will wake up soon? I hope you're wrong. Considering all I've heard of the archdemon so far, I'd prefer him to be asleep. At our last meeting, you told me that your brothers had sealed the temple.
ur-shak brothers seal temple in earth very good. Friend no can go in. Friend use magic from brothers who be sons of spirit like ur-shak.
Where can I find this magic?
Must go in caves of brothers who be sons of spirit like ur-shak. But friend must watch out when use magic. Brothers of ur-shak no like. Ulu Mulu no help when friend use magic. Friend now must take figure from column. Figure now open door to temple hall.
Now, what's weird there is he gives you two ways to do it, and the way the dialogue works out is very strange. But basically, there's going to be a case when we're in the temple that we will have to leave, and for that reason, he gives a second option of taking the figure from the column, which we will see as we enter the town here. And that second option should only be used as a second option, because the orcs will get very hostile when you do that. And he says they get hostile when you use the magic, which we're gonna use in the first case. But when they get hostile of you using the magic, they will de-aggro when you come back. Now, a lot of the orcs will run around and kind of chase after you. It might make you nervous, especially because you do have to take things from here, and they're not usually that happy about it. So if there's a bunch of them following you, all you have to do is engage them in dialogue, and then close it, and then they'll just turn back away. So that's how you can make sure that they don't follow you for too long. Now here we see some of the orcs dancing, holding conversations, drumming and stuff. So they do seem to be somewhat amicable, sociable culture here. But very, I would say, sort of pagan and simple in their lifestyles. And once again, that is just something that it seemed like Piranhabytes was never truly happy with. They were never really satisfied with the image of the orcs that they had made in their first two games, and wanted them to be more fleshed out and complicated when you reached in Gothic 3, which some people have come to argue is just the more up-to-date sort of mentality of the orcs on the mainland, because they do deal with humans on a regular basis. Not on friendly terms, but they did have to communicate with the Hashishin. They did enslave the humans that they were fighting against, and so it just behooved them to understand human culture and be able to actually communicate with them. So the ones here being so isolated and on no friendly terms with the humans here whatsoever have been very sheltered and just have no exposure to modern day advancements, really, which the orcs on the mainland have benefited from. So that's why they all have very simple appearances, simple clothing, simple culture, very slapdash weapons that don't seem like they would hold up. Whereas the ones on the mainland, and even ones that we see in Gothic 2, we see the orc elites who come to the island. Those are supposed to be ones from the mainlands. Those ones have much more armor. They seem to be much more clever and organized, and they have better weapons too, which don't seem as cobbled together. This, I'm assuming, is just big latrine pit. So, needless to say, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time standing over. I'm sure the aroma is not very welcoming. Down here, I think, is supposed to be just general living chambers, but we don't really see beds or anything of any kind, and most of the orcs live in the tents outside. I think this might actually, because there's so much magic here, including this orc teleport spell, which is how we are supposed to get through the gate, according to ur-shak's advice. I think these are supposed to be the shaman's quarters. So, this is where they sort of hold congress, as it were. As well as performing their daily rituals and alchemy and that sort of thing. Oh dear. So as long as there are no orcs following you, you can freely loot the place. I don't know if they will actually react if they see you taking anything, apart from the figurine on the column, which I do believe that if you take that, they might become permanently hostile. I've never actually come back to check it. But taking the figurine is actually much harder than using the orc teleport spell. You see, the figurine is up there on the top of the column, and climbing the column isn't really possible. There's no real way to get up there, so you would have to use telekinesis to get it, and as soon as the orcs see you using telekinesis and moving the object, they'll get pissed. So let me see if I can demonstrate that. The point of the figurine is somehow it allows you to operate this lever here. You see, you can't move it at all without it. I'm not really sure how it's supposed to work, but that is somehow integral to the operation of the mechanism here. So, let's see. Not really going to need these for now. Let's see if I can do this. The problem is that the figurine is very far to the front of the column here. So in order to even reach it, you cannot be standing near the gate. So if you try to do that just to save some time and hopefully get through the gate as fast as possible, it doesn't really work. Now thankfully they don't react while you're casting it, but pretty much as soon as you drop the item is when they flip their shit. So as you can see, it does not behoove us to do that at all, which is going to make that extremely complicated. So I kind of have a thought. First of all, I know that the shaman do leave at some point, but I do have an alternative theory as well that we might be able to make work. Now, well, that didn't really help us too much, but we can use it as an opportunity to test if the orcs do in fact stay aggroed if you manipulate the figurine on the column there. So, with this opportunity, we will make a dash back there and see how the orcs react to us returning. Oh, wow. Well, on one hand it worked, because none of them are aggroed anymore. On the other hand, I have no idea where the goddamn totem is anymore. Somehow seems to have gone astray. So it does not seem like that was the best plan. I have no idea where it went. Alright, so that doesn't seem to be an option either, I'm afraid. We are going to have to find a way to get that totem down without really being observed by all the orcs, or at least having a way to grab it and vanish. Of course, the alternative would be to simply kill everyone here. And I was asked by some... no, I wasn't asked, but my friend Ivan had said that he generally prefers to approach the Orc Town by simply slaughtering everything in here. And my counter to that is, yes, that's the easiest way, or at least the most certain way. But that's also like a distinct lack of mercy or respect for especially our good friend ur-shak, who has done a lot to help us, and in spite of being banished from his town, he clearly respects and still loves his brethren here in the Orc Town, because he wants to become a part of them again. And for him to help us, this is down in the latrine pit, by the way. I don't really know why they even allow you to go down here. But for him to help us out and get us inside the town, only for us to turn around and kill all of his friends and family, I think that would really, really upset him. And out of respect for him, I don't choose to do it that way. But in truth, as far as ur-shak is concerned, now here is a very fine weapon. This is called Revenge Steel, and it is one of the better two-handed weapons you can get at this point in the game. It only requires as much strength as Scar's sword does, so if you are playing a two-handed weapon strength-focused character, that's a good weapon to get. But we also have already acquired the warrior's voice here. Now, for some reason, only one of these switches work. That one is supposed to bring this gate down, but it doesn't actually do that. Not that it really matters, because there's nothing behind that gate, so no big deal. Alright, anyway, none of that is really important right now, because we do have a means to get inside, which depends on the scroll that we have found. So let us take care of that, and from there we shall enter the Sleeper's Temple. Where are it? And so, of course, ur-shak did say that his brothers would be very angry to see you using magic, and that one there has stopped praying. It is clear that he was not happy. Now, the ones in the distance don't really react, but that one is coming to try and get us. And another one of them is as well. And they are able to fire their spells through that gate. So, take incredible care and make sure you get through down here before they, here we are. So make sure you get through before they can fire their spells at you. This is an impressive view, isn't it? So this is the Temple of the Sleeper. There is a lot of orc imagery surrounding it, which I think was meant to, like, the whole temple was really meant to appease the Sleeper, but the orc imagery, I think, was also to show a sort of false perception of dominance here of the orcs who had summoned the Sleeper in the first place. And that's just my suspicion. They have the images, the visages of orcs here holding up the temple, and it is really meant to say that the orcs are the ones who support the Sleeper and in turn are endowed with his glory, I suppose, but the Sleeper gives no shits about the orcs one way or the other. But he does command them to an extent, but being called Sleeper, he does spend most of his time in slumber. And we will learn more about him as we proceed. Now, the Ulu Mulu is of no value here anymore. There, right off the bat, a skeleton. And another. Fuck you. Alright. Now, be warned, because there is a skeleton mage right up there, I believe. Couple scouts. I'm pretty sure there is a mage. Yeah, I see him. I want to take him down before anybody else if I can, but he's kind of far away. There he is. Because the mages not only have spells I can throw at you, but they also will summon more skeletons into the fray. There we go. Another one bites the dust. These ones thankfully have some pathfinding issues in here around this wall. So you can take advantage of that to kind of keep them separated and not have to worry about fighting too many at a time. So this whole place, first of all, there is the visage of a demon here as well. Very basic and low polygon, but that is not in any way meant to represent the Sleeper. That's just seems to be based off of your typical Netherrealm demon. Now this here is very strange. Just a couple icons, which you do have to keep in mind for later, and it's hard to really get a good look at them because the texture quality is so low. But I always kind of interpreted the far left one as flames. This one as the purple one as a symbol of the moon. It's hard to really say what that one is. I kind of see something spiderish in the center, but when taken as a single item, it's hard to really say what that is. Now, through here, you can see some more skeletons, and you can take advantage of the gateway here to attack them. You can aggro them from a distance with any basic ranged weapon, even if you're not good with it, and then you can get them close enough to engage them in melee, if that is your wish. So as long as they can hit you through it as well, so if you kind of keep your distance, back off if you need to heal. It's fairly basic stuff, really. There we go. There is a mage over there. Killing him would also be to our advantage. But I don't think I can reach him. No matter. We will deal with that. There's a second gate over here. You can hear mine crawlers. Those guys will come into play in due time. But here is the first riddle and the first trap as well. Obviously that was not the riddle, that was just opening the door. But once we get inside, the way forward will be blocked, and to the sides is are two chambers that hold skeletons, and they will come out and attack you as soon as they are able. There's also a skeleton on the other side of this gate, so don't put your back to it, otherwise he will attack you as well. So, we are trapped in here, and it's not a complex riddle. You just have to look a little bit. All you have to do is press the switches in here. And that will open both the way back out and the gate forward. And here, you notice we see some of the same emblems. They are much bigger versions of the same emblems. For example, this yellow one, the only thing we saw was that icon on the top there. But now it's a much more broad image. Same thing with this one here. The broader image is mostly the same on each of them. But, basically, you have to keep in mind the sequence that you saw these three objects here. So the first one, the one on the far left was the red one. In the middle was the yellow one. And the final one was the purple one. And here, the gates will open. But it also opens the gate down into the tunnel below. And that is where the mine crawlers are. And I don't really know why they bothered to put that tunnel there. I suppose if you're having trouble with the frontal approach, it might be able to get you by some of the enemies, but it's really not that helpful. So where'd that skeleton mage go? He was floating right here. I'm not really sure what happened to him. Alright, so here there are these two orbs here on the top of these sconces, as it were, and I'm not really sure what it is, because they look like the ore torches in the swamp camp, but they seem to be made of a different material because they're red. Now that might imply iron, but iron... Oh, where the hell did you go? That was very strange. I'm not really sure where he was, because he showed up again as soon as we came back. Yeah, iron does not glow like that. So I'm not really sure what kind of material these are supposed to be made out of. Anyway, this is running into kind of a long episode now, so I'm going to call it here. We didn't really get too far into this, but things will heat up quite a bit more in the next episode, and I will see you all then.